Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Dressed to Kill, a thriller from 1980. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on HBO Max and rent on all the other major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot. Welcome to Screen Riot, the podcast where we review movies chosen entirely by fate. If you're having difficulties finding movies to watch, then this might be the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and alongside me are co-hosts Eddie, Kyle, and John. And each week one of us spins the wheel of fate, and the host must pick any movie from that genre. If you'd like to see all the movies that we've reviewed so far and how they've ranked, visit screenriot.net and have a look at the movie ratings page. At the end of each show, we'll spin and see what the next week's movie is going to be so that you can follow along at home. And while you're at screenriot.net, make sure you head over to the support page to see all the different ways that you can help support the show. I want to take a quick moment, real quick, to say John hasn't been feeling very well, so he's actually not in the
studio.
I'll call it a studio.
Yeah,
sure.
It's a studio.
It's a studio.
We can get by with that, right?
Yeah. He's not in the studio today, so he's remoting in, so that's why his audio might sound a little
weird
odd compared to ours.
Yeah, I'm not in the basement. I'm not in Kyle's mom's basement today.
Wow.
You know what? You guys can hate all you want, by the way. I'm not even going to be insulted. I'm not insulted.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, as I said at the top of the show, we are looking at a movie called Dressed to Kill. It's rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour 44 minutes, and it was written and directed by Brian De Palma, which I'm sure we all know De Palma, right?
Oh yeah.
He's one of the contemporary directors that's, pretty good.
Yeah. The Untouchables is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just to run down through some of his stuff. So he did Carrie, 1976. He did this movie, Dressed to Kill, in 1980. Blowout, 1981, which is a fantastic movie.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
He did Scarface, 1983. The Untouchables, 1987. Carlito's Way, 93. Mission Impossible, 96. Snake Eyes, 98. Femme Fatale, 2002. The Black Dahlia, 2006. And then he's got a couple other things that he's working on. But unfortunately, this movie did not make it into the Oscars.
I wonder why.
Well, this was only an hour 44 minutes.
Yeah.
It did not feel only an hour and 44 minutes.
No, it's a very slow movie for sure.
It's very arty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very arty.
I think the average shot length is 5.5 seconds, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, the median shot length.
I would have figured like 30 seconds.
No.
Yeah, especially the museum scene. The museum
man.
scene with the music goes on for a while.
That is 9 minutes long with no dialogue.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough to watch.
That one scene, I was like, oh, I bet Kyle's loving this right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this because Kyle, I know, is enjoying it right now. It feels much nicer.
I wanted to buy Kate some shoes that weren't tap shoes.
Yeah,
Because it
those
sounded
high
like
heels.
she was wearing tap shoes, and I now know why in Clue they shot the singing telegram tap dancing girl. That was annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and then I think the Foley artist was just like, well, obviously she wouldn't be making no noise walking through this museum, so she's got to be doing something the
She's
entire
making
time.
all the noise.
All the noise, the only noise in there, except for the orchestra that's drowning everyone else out.
Well, actually, it was actually scripted for her to be narrating a voiceover during the whole time about like what she's thinking and all.
Where's he going? What you doing over there in the corner?
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching me?
Oh, my glove. Just over and over. Damn it, my glove. These are really expensive gloves.
Right.
Oh well.
I wish he would have brought my damn glove back. Wait, he's looking at me. Is he looking at me? I'm going to turn around. Where'd he go? Like, just the whole time.
It is slow, but I do like some of the shots that they do in there.
Yeah.
And you also got to remember, though, this was 1980, right? So
Sure.
possibly shot 1978, 1979, right?
Yeah.
The Steadicam was invented by Haskell Wexler, a cinematographer, and used in the first movie it was ever used in was in 1976.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So I kind of feel like they were kind of wanting to
So it's
use
like
this new tool.
breaking technology.
Yeah,
Huh.
pretty much.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
'cause
that.
I know that there was a lot of steady shots, but I didn't realize. I thought those were just on tracks.
No, you could tell that they're Steadicam, and because there was a lot of shots where it wasn't level. It was almost canted in a way, and it was kind of swaying.
Okay.
You know,
I didn't see the sway that much. like I typically do on Steadicam shots. Like if it's not, or if the operator himself isn't actually adjusted to this particular Steadicam, you'll see a little bit of fluctuation there. But I didn't really see any tilting.
Yeah, it was when they would go from like moving to stop.
Oh, and it would kind of like sway a little bit.
Yeah, sway a little bit.
I gotcha.
It was kind of the momentum would kind of keep it going around a little bit.
With the outside of the
waterbed.
museum, just getting into this, the shot that you go from her all the way to the cab. It's like a slow pan over to the cab. Usually, it's just a cut. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, everything, it seems like he did it.
Well, you know why, right?
Why?
Well, did you see Bobby standing there?
Yeah,
yeah.
And at first, like in the trailers, I thought Bobby was in, or I thought Michael Caine's character, anyways, was in the taxi.
Oh no!
I thought that was him for just like a split second. I'm thinking, oh man, he just hired this dude to
that would be
pick her up, But
yeah, so I'm gonna say this, and do we want to let the cat? I mean,
well, yeah,
we say in the original like
spoilers.
Alert. Yeah, so as soon as she gets murdered, whenever I watched it the first time,
talking about Kate Miller.
Yeah, this is like the second or third time I've seen this movie.
Yeah, she gets murdered about 30 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's Michael Caine. Like, it didn't take anything for me to guess. I wasn't. There was no like, oh, I don't know where this is going. I was like, no, we're just waiting for him to be unmasked at this point, just because it's so obvious. But I didn't see him outside the museum. I didn't. It just never occurred to me. This time, whenever I was watching, I was like, "Oh, there he is."
Oh, you saw him this time.
Oh, yeah.
He appears a couple times.
Yeah, I never saw him.
That was like one of the more blatant ones.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you knew the twist during the murder thing. I did not the first time I saw it.
Oh, really?
It didn't enter my mind.
I think this is the first time I watched it all the way through, and I don't think, obviously, I didn't remember Michael Caine as Bobby. So that was actually a
twist.
A twist, yeah.
Okay.
So it did work. I mean, I noticed that Bobby, or the actual female killer, quote unquote, was a dude. It's like you just know that from seeing it. But I didn't realize that it was actually Michael Caine.
No,
I thought it was two separate people just because he kept talking in third person, and he was like, Bobby did this and Bobby did that. I'm really worried about Bobby, and I'm thinking it's just one of his patients.
Right.
If I'd seen this,
that's the red herring that they put out in the movie.
Yeah.
If I'd seen this in 1980, I would have been more shocked.
Oh yeah,
Right.
for sure.
But now there's so many movies that have stolen that,
Yes.
twisted, like, oh, it's not the person you really think it is. That storyline type of thing. That I'm like, well, I'm always looking for who's the most unlikely. So it's obviously that person, character. And that, unfortunately, whenever I watched this for the first time, I was like, oh, it's him.
Yeah.
Like, it just was obvious to me. I don't know, but the most shocking thing to me about this, and this is going to be a little crass, but it's me. The very first 3 to 5 minutes.
I know,
there's,
right?
Like hairy vagina lips on the screen, and I was like, oh wow, oh okay, well they're just showing like pubic hair, not a big deal. And then you're like, nope, those are definitely those are her labia. Okay, wow,
yeah,
that I feel awkward now.
I was like, oh wait, this is Justin's movie.
Yeah, and then they followed it up with little imaginary rape scene, just for kicks. You know what I mean? That threw me. That threw me every time I watch it. Every time I watch it, I'm never ready for.
Oh yeah,
the imaginary rape.
How graphic
scene.
that is.
Yeah, it's far. I mean, especially for 1980, I'm like, wow, this is pretty grindhouse for 1980. Like this.
Well, it was originally got an X rating because of it.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
And Brian De Palma had to, possibly. Brian De Palma had to basically fight the MPAA to get it down to an R rating.
Jeez.
He's like, there's no penetration, guys. Like, that's probably what the argument sounded like.
Maybe.
He's wearing a sock.
Exactly.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
Well, now, if you look, I mean, what's crazy, in all seriousness, what's crazy is you look at movies like Love that have come out now, and you're like, wow. Yeah, Dressed to Kill? Not that shocking.
No, not really.
That's a G
nothing.
movie.
Yeah, nothing compared to Love.
Another thing I want to talk about that scene that I found interesting doing some research about this movie is so the actress who plays Kate Miller, why can't I think of her name real quick?
Angie Dickinson.
Yeah, Angie Dickinson.
Okay.
She's like 50, 48, 50 or something
She's Charles
at the time.
Dickens' daughter. Yep, I got you.
Yeah. So they brought in a body double for all those nude scenes during that shower.
I knew it. I'm like, as soon as I saw the long shot, I'm like, okay, this is Angie Dickinson, and then to Brian De Palma, like, boom, I'm boobs right there in your face, right there on screen. I'm like, those aren't hers.
Yeah, it was.
There's no way.
Oh man, I was gonna say, damn, she looks great for 50.
That's what I said. I was like, damn, that's
she looks
what's
more,
her regimen?
It's more like she looks great for 28, 30, 32 maybe, right in that range.
Okay,
yeah.
I did not realize that was a body double.
Yeah. But there's a conspiracy theory behind it though. So apparently the studio.
It's really Michael Caine. Michael Caine's
Caine.
body double.
Oh my god,
Michael Caine looks great for 50 in this movie.
no kidding. Bobby looks fantastic.
The surgery just went well.
God.
No, but apparently the studio.
Yeah.
They wanted Angie Dickinson to when they were promoting it, they were going on the night shows or the talk shows and all that stuff, to claim that it was her body.
Oh, really?
Because they wanted to use her in other stuff, and
yeah,
sex sells, right?
Yeah.
But then it finally got leaked that it was actually an actress named Alice Johnson, I believe.
Who's done nothing else, right?
I'm not sure. I
Or
didn't
she
look
just
her up.
body doubles for
Interesting.
She just did, and actually she's a redhead,
Oh,
so
which
she had to
explains-
dye the her pubes.
yeah.
So just
It-
to
it-
match
it-
the blonde hair of Angie Dickinson.
Was she blonde?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, I thought it was a pretty good match because it's pretty orangey in the shower scene, and her hair it's not really blonde. I don't know. There's a lot of very weird tones in this movie. I mean, it's a very, late 70s, early 80s movie, but I mean, there's a lot of like browns and earthy like greens and stuff like that, even in the people's skin tones. Like, what's his name? The guy she sleeps with, the guy she goes home with from the museum, he's very, like, I don't know, he's very dark, like all over. Like, he looks like he's been in a tanning bed for a really long time. And I don't think that he has. I think it's just the
look of the film.
the coloring of the movie. You know what I mean? He just seems very, very dark, and like almost that scene. And then her husband, whenever she's taking the shower at the beginning, and she's looking out the glass at her husband, I'm like, man, that guy tans all the time. Like, he's damn near leather.
After he's done shaving, he's late for his tanning bed session.
Yeah.
It's just so strange.
Yeah. The beginning of this movie was supposed to be different too.
Oh, really? They didn't lead off with a solo scene in the shower?
No,
with
it
a
was
rape
more shocking.
ending?
Actually.
Oh God.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Even more shocking.
Yeah, it was basically Michael Caine giving himself a sex change operation in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
So they changed it to this her in the shower scene.
Okay.
So that means they filmed it, and they went, this is awful.
Well, that might have been one of the X-rated things that they had to cut and change it with this. I'm not sure.
Even Michael Caine's like, we've gone too far. This is too much. God.
Actually,
So that means De Palma went, okay, studio,
Oh, God.
I can get rid of Michael Caine cutting off his junk, but that rape scene must stay.
I mean, it's probably a concession. Yeah,
Jesus.
and that's how I hear that most of those rating confrontations happen. Is it's concessions. It's
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
as
The
long as you
compromises.
compromises.
Yeah.
As long as I get rid of this, I get to keep this, though, right?
True. Yeah.
Well, that's actually kind of an interesting strategy. If you were wanting to keep the rape scene in, you're like, okay, we got to film something where Michael Caine cuts off his junk. Wait, what? Trust me on this.
It'll never see the light of day.
It's just my compromise shot. Trust me.
Yeah. The
Oh,
writers.
I like that. That's my compromise shot. I like
The
that.
writers are over there like, we worked like 9 hours on this one scene
Yeah.
just to get it right. I mean, you're gonna cut it out, seriously?
Well, if you think about it, if you go back to some movies we watch, like Bully, where we have that weird vagina shot with Baiju Phillips, you could almost be like that was his
That was a
compromise
compromise
shot, and he's like, "Wait, no arguments." So the movie stayed. We think it's perfect. Oh crap! Okay. I guess it
What else?
stays.
What else can I get away with?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The talking about Michael Caine being Bobby, right?
Yes.
When there's a lot of hints in the movie that's what the twist is, right?
Yeah.
Which makes one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when he goes to meet that insane asylum doctor.
Oh, yeah. The other doctor. Yeah.
And they start talking about Michael Caine's patient, Bobby. You know, at the time, if you're not like Eddie and you've already figured the movie out at this point, if you haven't figured it out yet, you feel like they're both talking about a patient of both of theirs.
Yes.
Right? But they're really talking about Michael Caine,
Yeah.
which makes it interesting, fascinating to me, especially because a lot of I'm trying to think of specific lines of dialogue in there, but it's just the doctor he goes to see is just so nonchalant about it because he knows knows it's his
him.
personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're watching the scene, it's like it's so he's so nonchalant about it that it's like, where's the urgency? Why does this guy not care? Why is he talking to Michael Caine in this way, in this kind of subdued manner?
Yeah,
but then when you figure out the twist,
because I'm thinking he's still out there. He's on the loose. You need to call the police.
Yeah,
type thing. Well, if you're talking about how dangerous this dude is, why is he out to begin with?
Well, I will say though, the doctor says later on that until that scene where Michael Caine and him are talking, Bobby has never presented himself before, or herself, I should say, to that doctor as a male. It's always been a female. So until he was talking to Michael Caine in that scene, he didn't 100% recognize Michael Caine as Bobby. Okay. He says later on, he's like, whenever he came to see me is whenever I he came to me as a man that I was, and he was talking, and the things that he said, that's when I realized that this was actually Bobby.
Okay, so he was actually, confused as well.
Yeah,
I thought he was playing into it, like he was trying to work both sides of the personality. So like when Michael Caine introduced himself, he's like, "Oh, you're Dr. Caine, or what? Dr. Elliot.
Yeah,
you're Dr. Elliot." And there's a specific question, and I can't remember what it is, but it's a thing that triggers Michael Caine when they're going down the stairs, and the doctor asks him, and then they do this shot of where it's like a yes or no question. And Michael Caine like turns around and answers him, and the shot lingers on Caine for like 2-3 seconds of like silence, and like it's super interesting because you realize at that moment that the reason he's asking that is because the doctor's trying to figure out which personality he's in at that state.
Well, he says, "Will you have Bobby contact me?" And
is that what it is?
Yeah, and he's like, "No." I think he says yes. He says yes, and then then it stays on him for a second.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's like, "Okay, well, I hope to speak with her soon."
That's right. Yes.
And he says, "Well, you need to have her contact me." And he goes, "Okay," or he says yes. And then a couple seconds later, he's like, "Good, because I'm going to need to speak to her soon." Because it's like, you're fucking nuts. I need to have a conversation with the other side of you that's also crazy.
Yes.
But at least that person I've talked to.
Oh,
this bitch doesn't normally talk to me, which is weird because they say the transsexual thing. I'll go back to that. I'll come back to this in a second.
No, it's fine. I was just going to make another statement that the doctor says, "Oh, well, let's go talk to her."
Yeah.
He's kind of like a child. Like, okay, you're exasperated. Let's go talk to Bobby.
Yeah.
And like he was going to bring Michael Caine into a therapy session.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Which is what brings me to this part. What's interesting is being in 1980, they talk about this transsexualism and all that kind of stuff, and they're talking about it, and it's like, well, the transsexual mind is one that is split and varied and blah, blah, blah. And they go through this whole thing. But really what Dr. Elliot and Bobby are experiencing is multiple fucking personalities.
Right,
it's not just transsexuality. It's multiple personalities.
It's multiple issues with this guy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like I don't know the that manual. I'm trying to remember the name of the manual. Oh crap! It's the big medical manual where they take all these
Dummy's Guide of How to Give Yourself a Sex Change in the Bathroom.
No, It's the one where they take everything and they put it all into one book and they say, here's all the ways that you can be fucked in the head. And the different things, like homosexuality used to be part of it, right? And then we took homosexuality out. Transsexualism used to be part of it, and now we've taken that out.
Gotcha.
Transsexuality and body dysmorphia were like one and the same, and now they've separated those things out in this book. I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head, but anyway, it's interesting because in 1980, I'm wondering if like the idea of transsexualism and like having multiple personalities was like glued together the way that body dysmorphia and transsexuality used to be glued together.
Gotcha.
Now I'm wondering if those things used to be glued together where they're like,
possibly,
yeah, like if you feel like, okay, so you're a guy but you feel like a girl, so it's not really that you feel like a girl, it's that there's a girl inside of you, which is the same thing as multiple personalities.
That's just wanting to come out.
Yeah, so it's not that you want to cut your dick off, the girl that's inside of you wants to come out and not have a dick. I get it.
Well,
okay,
it's interesting that the that transsexualism seems to have become in the medical community more quickly accepted than multiple personality disorder. Because multiple personality disorder, there's still doctors out there that go, yeah, that doesn't exist.
Interesting. Well, like, that was all explained, like what you were saying. It was almost like a commercial about what this is, and what Michael Caine's character, Elliot, is going through towards the very end when Liz and the guy from Ghostbusters, I keep wanting to say he's Harold Ramis.
The
kid?
mayor?
The mayor from Ghostbusters?
Oh, Franz.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Not Harold Ramis. Yeah, it was the other one. But he just looked like a Ghostbusters character. But no, he looks like the kid from Stranger Things.
Oh, are you talking about the
He's talking about the
Keith
Peter.
Gordon? You talking about Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like the kid from the beginning of Ghostbusters that Venkman is shocking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
that is
he's
not
been
him.
in-
I looked that up.
Yeah,
I was
anyway,
like, wow, two Ghostbusters characters in the same movie.
Yeah.
But that
No,
kid,
this isn't him.
But that kid has been in a lot of movies that you would probably recognize him in. You just don't recognize him.
Right.
Like he was in Back
Yeah.
to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
He was in
played the
Carrie.
son. Yeah, he was in Carrie. He also was in a movie called The Legend of Billie Jean with Helen Slater and Christian Slater. Not related.
Right. No, but what I
he's
was
been in a lot of things.
what I was
yeah.
saying though is Liz and Peter were having that conversation.
Yeah.
And you have these weird shots though. I didn't really understand. I knew the over the shoulder shot for Peter with that woman like in disgust of what Liz was talking about. She was like, "Oh my God, she's actually talking about this in public." And then you have the reverse shot of that with Liz, and you have like an older over the shoulder shot of some
dude.
lady in the back.
Yeah, some dude and some lady eating.
And I'm like, what is this framing about? Like the nose room is not there. It was awkwardly shaped.
It was weird.
I could understand with the opposite with Peter in the shot with that woman, reacting to what Liz was saying. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then they almost mirrored that shot with, oh, you know what it was? I think it was Peter's mental reaction and then her mental reaction of just like, oh, it's just a completely normal thing. But in his head, he's actually going, holy crap, this is really twisted. And that's what his like mental.
That's very possible. But
could be.
the part
I'm going to go with the cinematographer didn't want to move the damn camera. He's like, you know what? No, I'm not moving my camera again.
Well,
I'm not doing it.
that was in the restaurant at the Twin Towers.
Yes,
no,
I was
I
going to say that
I
too.
did not know that.
Yeah. So they might have been on like a time crunch.
Maybe, but I mean, at least frame it right.
Yeah.
But they also forgot to leave out the part where he was obviously into her. Like he's like, yeah, I know you're a hooker. I get it. Hey, call girl. Yeah, lots of guys. Totally.
It's definitely hinted.
So when are we doing this?
I thought that was going to happen, at the end when he's like, yeah, my stepdad's not home.
Yeah, that's what I
He'd come
thought.
home with me. I'm like, okay,
We were all
he's
pulling
going
for
to get
him.
his just desserts. now.
Listen, nerds of the world unite. Okay, we were all like, yeah, get there, son. And then nope, he's just taking care of her. Just taking care of the rest of his life.
Well, Liz, the actress Nancy Allen
Was in RoboCop.
Was she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
she
yeah,
was.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, she's was Brian De Palma's wife at the time.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Wow.
know.
Wow,
Dang.
that's interesting. She's kind of cute, right? Like, I mean, she's like you know what? She's marriage material. She's like a solid 6. Like, she's just pretty enough.
Oh, which is pretty
Jesus.
good in
Wow.
Eddie rating.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's pretty enough,
That's
but
a
at the same
dime.
time, you're not like, God, I can't even trust her to go to the store. No, stay home.
I don't know when she's got the lingerie on when she's trying to come on to Dr. Elliot.
But notice that Brian De Palma was married to her at the time.
Right.
As she got older and the lingerie didn't look the same,
Aw.
Brian De Palma went, hey, I'm a famous director. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Spielberg wasn't married to his wife whenever they filmed Temple of Doom.
Right.
Who was his
Now,
wife?
granted, she wasn't as in that bad of a lingerie.
Are we talking about
outfit,
the blonde
but-
girl from Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Oh, that explains how that woman got it. I never knew that's how that woman got into Temple of Doom, because she is the most annoying part of Temple of Doom.
No. They didn't they didn't know each other at the time. I don't believe they weren't married at the time.
Yeah, but he was trying to get a date. That's how you get a date. You go, hey, you want to be in my movie? I know you suck as an actress, but I got this movie over here.
Oh, man.
It's better than any Ferrari ever.
Well, what do you think about Nancy Allen's acting in this?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was fun.
It was okay.
I thought it was pretty good for what she had.
I think she did a good job. I mean, she wasn't just chasing around going Murphy like she does in RoboCop.
Well, it was the reason I asked is because she got a Razzie Award for this.
Ooh, really?
Performance.
Well, that's rough.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's rough.
But the Angie Dickinson
Mm-hmm.
got people were thinking of why didn't she get Oscar nominated?
Because it wasn't that big of a role.
Oh, I think it's yes,
Yeah.
because it wasn't that big of a role. She gets killed off in the first 30 minutes of the movie, right?
Yeah.
But also I think because of the time era, women heroines aren't like a big thing. I mean, unless prove me wrong.
Was she a heroine though?
I mean, she was trying to. She went undercover to Elliot's office to
we're
try
talking
to
about.
find.
Hold on, we're talking about two different people. I was thinking about Dickinson, who got killed in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's not the heroine.
No,
right?
I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Liz.
You're talking about Liz, the
Yes.
one who should have gotten. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Murphy's girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. She got a She got a Razzie for this, and I think it was probably because of public opinion. The court of a public opinion.
It's very possible.
Probably.
'Cause I think she was fine.
1980, the public probably wasn't ready for the transsexual movement, or going, hey, this is a norm, and they just like, you know what, I'm gonna write this off. This movie's I'm not gonna see the light of day in my house.
Yeah. Her acting's trash.
I don't know. I can't think. I'm trying to think of. I mean, like Network was in what 76, 78,
Something like that. Yeah.
and what's her name is in that, and she does a phenomenal job in that movie. And I would say that she pulls off. I mean, she's definitely more positive than the old guy who whines the entire movie. I love Network; it's a great movie,
Right.
but he whines the entire fucking movie. And I mean, she probably comes as close to a heroine as I can think. I'm trying to think of other movies from the 1970s that there's like a female like main character who really does.
Yeah,
that's
that's what I was saying. I couldn't quite think of one around late 70s.
I feel like
Was
we
it,
should be much better.
Well, hang
at
on.
this.
Yeah.
What about, was Charlie's Angels? That was in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah, I guess TV shows
Yeah.
would count. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think that honestly, if you're very objective about this, her acting just wasn't that great. I mean, it wasn't bad,
I thought it was fun. Yeah.
but it wasn't anything you're going to be like, oh my god, did you see Dressed to Kill? But yeah, Michael Caine was okay. But did you see the girl who ran around in lingerie and was banging old dudes and running through the park and like randomly bumping into black gang members on a completely deserted subway?
You mean
Hey,
you
you
mean
know
the
what?
you mean the Bruno Mars wannabe group?
Dude,
Right? I tell you what it was.
Yeah.
It was the they did not. Well, I'll bet you money they did not want to say, you know what, we're gonna give this girl an Oscar nod, and she plays a whore.
Oh, that's a better. That's
what
better
I was
thing.
getting at.
Yeah, that's a better connection. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I will say, okay, again,
We can't be handing out these prestigious awards to hookers.
But
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave Palmer, we're gonna leave that rape scene in, but you ain't getting no Oscar stuff.
I'll say this too.
Dave
Though.
Palmer.
If you're being objective, there's a lot of really wonky acting in this. Like the guy with the museum scene, it's interesting to look at. I like
Sure.
that there's. I actually do like that there's no music for 9 minutes because it's not something I like to live through. I don't want to live through it, but you know what? I like the balls it takes to just be like, no dialogue, just be driven by the score for the next 9 minutes. Wait, what? Just the score. Like I like that.
Well,
It
I
takes
mean,
balls.
It's
right?
fairly interesting.
It is. But then you have to take that and then juxtapose it against the getting out of the cab and the cabbie swinging the door open and the noise the woman who's chasing after Liz when she hits the ground. It's just the like just,
Yes.
and she doesn't move. There's no
I know. It's like, did she die?
she just died right there because of a car door. And he's like, sorry. Like it's just not good acting.
I almost had to pause it because I laughed so hard. I thought it was a dummy or something like that.
It might have been.
that they just pushed off camera and it just fell right in front of the cab.
And De Palma's like, yeah, we got it cut. Moving on.
Perfect.
And scene. Perfect.
And guys, we gotta
Moving
roads got to be open back up. We can't keep it closed.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Maybe Michael Caine wasn't available that
I
day.
don't know. It's just very.
For
Well, it's
shooting.
not even Michael Caine in that scene. It's actually the cop.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the cop.
It's
Okay,
the cop following him,
See,
yeah.
that's where I got confused, and that was a
The
good
exposition part at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually really good because I thought that Bobby
I
was.
think it was necessary. But go
See,
ahead.
what I thought was that Bobby was real, right? And that Michael Caine's character, Dr. Elliot, was actually trying to frame Bobby for murder.
Oh.
And
Okay.
because he didn't like this patient. and maybe because it was actually a transsexual.
Okay.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying.
And so, and it's like in his mind, he's like, no, this is evil, and the only way to get rid of this is to actually put this person in a mentally insane asylum or in jail. So I have to frame this person's murder or something like that.
I almost like this movie he's writing better. Again, as usual, because I mean, that last scene would be crazy if Liz came back in and Michael Caine is wearing a wig. And it's just like, and now I've got to kill you because transsexuals. And outside in the rain, the Peter is being grabbed by the actual
The real
Bobby,
Bobby.
Right.
who's just like, he's framing me, help me. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the person we thought was the villain the whole time isn't the villain. And
Right.
it's actually Michael Caine.
See?
He's just a dick.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's doing this whole, Bobby stole my razor and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was writing a better movie, apparently.
Apparently. I think the exposition part at the end is necessary.
Yes.
But my biggest problem with it is that the climax of the movie, and Kyle, we can argue about this later, happens like 15 minutes before the end of the movie.
No, I thought the climax happened in the taxi. Oh, sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry, that fell flatter than a girl getting hit by a car door.
Sorry.
So the Michael Caine gets shot,
Yeah.
and they capture Michael Caine. The cop, saves Peter, saves Liz, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to the police station, and Liz argues with the cop about how he knew that she wasn't the killer the whole time, but was basically using her as bait.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up in this falling action resolution denouement thing that lasts for 15 fucking minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have extra things that happen. Michael Caine breaks out of prison.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
doesn't happen. Does
happen.
Yeah,
he's in an insane asylum. He kills a nurse, puts on her dress, and then
We-
breaks out of
The
the
end.
insane
The
asylum.
movie cut.
Should have
The
been.
end.
Yes.
That's
Well, no,
where
but
it should have ended.
I agree
Yeah.
with you, John. The thing is, did it happen? Or was that just what happened in her mind? Because that dream, that all runs right in together. Like, we cut from Bellevue.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that's a part of the dream that she was having of her in the shower.
How the fuck do we know? Because the Bellevue scene
You're
butts
right.
right up to her being in the shower.
You're right.
And then
That's-
from the shower scene, it was actually a dream. So is he still in Bellevue, or did he break out? It just becomes muddy after that.
Yeah,
The
it
twist
does.
is that Bobby's a real person and not Michael Caine. That's the twist.
Yeah, I mean,
See, that's what I was writing in
know.
my head.
yeah, I don't know.
That Bobby was a real person. He was actually trying to frame her for murder.
Murder.
Her for murder.
That's right. Communism was just a red herring.
That's right.
I just think the last 15 minutes should have been trimmed the
it's
fuck
weak.
down.
Yeah.
Well, they should have just ended it. Like movies today, almost no falling action, almost no denouement. You just basically have almost no falling action, no resolution, no denouement. Just basically person gets shot
Yep.
in the rain, the cops show up, fade to black, credits. And
Yep.
we're good. We get
see,
it. He was the bad
and
guy,
why-
everyone was saved.
And why actually have that scene so drawn out of him like doing his thing of taking off her shoes very, very slowly and painstakingly slow.
Oh, in Bellevue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And I'm like, okay, cool. This is actually a really good ending shot because, it's now, okay, he's breaking out.
Dressed
and-
to Kill 2.
Yeah, and it's like, here's sequel time or something. I don't
Michael
know.
Caine's Revenge.
But in your
I'm
head,
back.
you're thinking, oh crap, he just broke out,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's out for blood or again.
He's out for blood.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. But
like
then
it.
it cuts to outside of Liz's house, or actually it's Peter's house.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, where was this going? I thought this was credit time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then I looked at I tapped the remote and I'm like, wait a minute, we still have 5 minutes left?
Yeah, it would have been a very solid
What the hell?
90-minute movie.
Yeah.
It would have been a very solid 90-minute movie. There was enough skin. There was enough weird. You had fun as a cinematographer and as a director shots. We had a thriller. We found out who the bad guy was. He was taken down. The 2 kids are saved. Let it go. End of movie.
Yeah.
But instead, they were like, well, we need to explain this, though. It's the same. Listen, you named off a bunch of De Palma movies. Half that list I don't like.
No, really.
I just don't like it. Snake Eyes is awful. I did not like Snake Eyes.
I've never seen that one.
It wasn't good. What was the movie you named in the 2000s? Because you named Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, the first one was good.
Yeah, that was 96.
Yeah, but there was one in the 2000s you named. Oh, Black Dahlia.
Oh, yeah, Black
That
Dahlia.
movie's fucking awful.
Yeah, I haven't seen
can't
that, actually.
stand the Black Dahlia. Did you like the Black
I
Dahlia?
haven't seen it now.
It's awful. It's a fucking period piece movie
Mm-hmm.
with Josh Hartnett, and it's about the murder, the Black Dahlia murders,
Right.
and it just goes on and fucking on, and you're like, really? What? why is this so long? It just goes and goes. It's like the sentence right now, just goes and goes. This sentence is you living the movie The Black Dahlia. It's just awful. But half of his movies, he just does this. He just gets into that role of like, I'm going to tell this amazing story, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again until you're just tired of hearing the fucking story. So I don't know. I don't know why he does that.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like we're all in kind of agreement that the ending shot should have been him killing the nurse, and then that crane pull up shot, and then
either that or back at the house. Whenever they first shoot Michael Caine. They pull out of the house, with Peter and Liz in there, and Liz is being, saved by a cop in a blanket, and we see the kids are safe. Rain shot, big New York, fade to black, credits.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you'd have to shoot a little bit more of an ending.
But just let it go. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be, I don't know, somewhere in that range, though.
Yeah, I don't think the explanation scene, I feel like most people got it by that point. But, I mean, I think it's there for backup.
Yeah, I think it's there for people who maybe weren't
totally paying attention.
Yeah.
If you're like, and I was kind of thinking, I'm like, who the hell dresses like that if you're a nurse in the insane asylum?
Oh, with the zipper front.
Like, seriously?
Well, she got it from Adam and Eve, man. Like,
she had to feel beautiful while she was working.
I guess, but my God, I'm
the
like
zipper for easy access. Like, good
I'm
Lord.
like, okay, she's obviously gonna get killed.
I mean, I've seen a ton of nurses dressed like that. It's usually on Halloween.
Yes,
oh yeah,
they're sexy nurses.
Yeah, the sexy nurses.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is
sure, sexy nurses. You know what's funny? Sure, Justin, what's up?
What's
you got
funny
a story
is
behind sexy nurses?
I dressed in my sexy nurse outfit one time. Go ahead, Justin.
I always have a story about sexy nurses. No, what I was going to say is the actress who played the nurse at the end. This was her last acting role.
Oh, she was killed by Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. That was you stole my joke. You saw it coming, like Dressed to Kill.
Died for her profession.
Yep. She had one role. One.
Gave it her all.
And Michael Caine says,
God.
"Not today, my love."
I give my life to my art.
Oh man, I don't know. This, what sucks is I like this movie and yet I don't like this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I enjoy this movie. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
The ending's a little long, stretched out, a little weak, like we talked about.
Yeah.
The other part I don't quite like is that, which I hate to say this because I like De Palma as a director, but the whole split screen stuff that he does in a lot of his movies.
Oh yeah.
This one, a lot of the movies are done well, but this one it's a little hard to follow what's going on both sides. But typically when he does it, you can follow. You can split personality it. Maybe that's why he did it in here.
Yeah.
But, there was that one shot. I think you're talking about where they overlay the speaking roles, and you couldn't really. I was like, why are they doing this? When Liz was talking on the phone, I think, and somebody else was talking.
It was Michael Caine was watching a documentary, a Phil Donahue documentary of some transgender.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Liz was talking on the phone to somebody.
Yeah,
I forgot who she was talking
to. She was
to.
talking to like a bookie or something. Or,
Pimp.
Right.
Yeah, like a madam.
to get an extra $500 or something like that, so she can invest it in stock market.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause I guess that's what call girls do.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say that. I mean, do we know if that was like a real interview or anything?
It probably was.
I mean, it feels like it was.
Yeah, it probably was.
It might be. I was kind of interested. I'd be like, I kind of would like to watch that interview that
I don't
Phil
know.
Donahue thing did.
But what you just described, honestly, is part of where when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, filler, cool. Here's the filler parts. Like it loses me. Like I don't need.
Yeah, there wasn't a need for this scene.
No, and the escort, a lot of the escort stuff with her, I'm like, we get it. She's an escort. You don't need to keep having her go back and like banging. It was really weird. Like why go back and forth and stuff? And then Peter with the camera is cool. Like I'm like, this kid's obviously he's gonna play like kid detective and all that kind of stuff. But we've got too many detectives in this movie. We've got Liz as the detective. We've got her or Peter as the detective.
Well, they team up as one.
Eventually they team up, but they don't team up until 48, 55 minutes into the movie. And by that point, we're already invested with one of them being the fucking detective and the other one needs to be killed.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many detectives working on their own in this movie.
And then you got the actual cop, the actual detective.
Who doesn't do shit
I
except dangle bait in the water
Right.
and hope that she doesn't get killed.
Yeah, that's what a New York detective does.
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy's been in every like cop show ever.
He's a good cop.
Yeah, he's
I
okay.
think
Typecasted as-
He always played greasy cop though.
Yeah,
He never plays
right.
good cop. He always plays shitty
Well, no,
greasy
good
cop.
acting cop. He's
Oh, I
just
see
your
what you're saying.
typical
Yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
I'd
cop.
buy him as a cop.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
guess
he should have been. He honestly, he should have been. The twist should have been he was dressed up as the transsexual.
Oh, I like that. See,
That would have been better.
he's
Or-
wearing enough gold chains.
or a whole flood of them just randomly line up on the street and go, Liz,
Like
you're
warrior-
here to die.
Like the Warriors.
Yeah,
Like,
come out to play. And they all
twist
get their
is-
switchblades out, and
The twist is
Everyone is
all
a
the males,
transvestite.
all the males are actually transsexuals.
Peter's there.
They're all transsexual. He just is wearing like an ugly wig and stuff. Yeah,
he's
that's-
just
Jesus.
developing an AI that would actually make a robot transsexual or something.
I liked his little bike camera setup. I did. I thought his
That
bike
was cool.
camera setup was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It just was too much, man. Like we get it. Like, open it up. He's got a camera set up. Cool. He sets it and go. No, we got to see how the mechanism works for like 45 seconds. How the little thing twists, and this is how it takes pictures, just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Click, click.
I think it was because I think De Palma's interested in like electronics and
Is that what it
mechanical
is?
and stuff. I think that's
Okay.
probably why that was so detailed like that.
Yeah.
When we first see Peter and Michael Caine meet each other at the police station, and the cop is interviewing Michael Caine.
Yeah.
And we see Peter put the listening device and all that.
Right.
That came out of De Palma's real life.
Oh, really?
He was trying to catch his father cheating on his mother, and he did a similar kind of thing with like a recording listening device in the room and all this stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he put that in the movie.
That's not
Peter
creepy
was
at
a
all.
little secret agent man.
No, Brian.
No, I know, but Peter in this movie was like secret
Oh.
agent man.
So-
He had all the gadgets and cool shit.
Yeah. That's my thing, though. They could have just stayed with that. Why bring Liz into it necessarily?
Well,
Like, other than
yeah.
just as a, like, she was a witness, and then Peter uses the witness to
Yeah.
continue to hunt. But instead, it's like Liz goes her way, Peter goes his way, and then eventually they meet back up. But it's like they both go off in these opposite directions, which just adds to more need for more filming.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, instead of just linking forces and being like, let's attack this.
I thought it was pretty interesting that they
together.
made an emphasis on the painting in her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And did you guys catch how much it was?
No.
She said she paid $500.
$500 for it. And then previous to that scene, she was negotiating. You think you can get an extra $500 off this guy? It's like that's her rate is $500.
I mean, that's good to know. I mean, so you can get a 6 for $500. That's not-
$500 is what you need.
That was an ugly painting, by the way.
Because she's gonna
Yeah.
pay $500 to this bookie or this stock market guy.
Yeah.
And then she pays $500 for the painting.
I'm going to say this,
Stock
though.
market was just shy of 1,000. She needed the extra 500.
That's
what it
right.
was.
That's right.
That's
She already
right.
had 500.
I like a lot of 70s movies, but there's a lot of shit in them that's ugly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
almost every outfit in this movie was hideous.
Yeah.
There wasn't one outfit that I was like, oh, that's not bad. That's kind of cool.
I don't know. I like Nancy Allen in the lingerie.
Yes. Okay. Other than the lingerie. Beyond the lingerie. We all get it, okay? She wore some lingerie for a minute, Justin. Jesus, calm down.
The nurse at the end, we all decided was okay.
Right. See?
So everyone not scantily clad for Halloween. Everyone else, it was just hideous.
I mean, Nancy Ellen had a nip slip.
Oh, yeah.
Did she?
Yeah, I did see
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I didn't see that. I didn't. I wasn't looking hard enough at the screen.
I mean, it's kind of
guess.
difficult when it's like almost the very most center of the screen.
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh, there's something popping out.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're like, oh, I'm here to protect and serve.
I hope Bobby doesn't come out now.
Come with me if you want to live. What does RoboCop say? Is that what it is? Come with me if you
You're
want to
in
live.
trouble.
You're in trouble.
No, that's
That's what it
Terminator.
is. You're in trouble.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
And then the robots, it's like you have 5 seconds to comply.
Oh God, come with me. You're in trouble is the best line for a nip slip ever.
You see it, you're in trouble.
I'm gonna say that to my wife next time I see her. Just be like, "You're in trouble." Like, oh God,
Jesus.
that's all.
And then your little derringer comes out. No, I'm sorry.
come quietly, or there will be trouble.
Trouble. Okay. I did like the blood in this movie. You know, typically blood.
Yeah, his blood was terrible.
I don't know, the blood on what's her name, Angie Dickinson.
In the
the
elevator
beginning
scene.
of the
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
wasn't
good.
bad. It wasn't paint.
It
was
was all
better.
dried though, like on her face. It was like
Yeah.
it was like purposefully
It was
like
painted on.
drawn,
Yeah,
like painted
I
on.
don't know.
I agree with him on that, but it was
At
better
least-
than Devil's Reign, John. We can agree
At
on
least
that.
it wasn't like, you know,
Nothing is better than Devil's Reign.
No,
damn
the
right.
blood in this movie was better than the blood in Devil's Reign by, I don't know, paint.
'Cause
it was a lot better.
in today's slasher world movies, if the razor blade or, you know, a little shaving thing cut a neck or cut a hand or something like that, it'd be like spraying out blood like a hose. But
Well, yeah, because we all have veins and jugulars there
well, yeah,
on the
but,
arm. They're everywhere.
right. But what I'm saying is like they're not just like squirting out like profusely out to the ether.
15 feet. I'm with you on this. So I'm going to say this, John. I agree with you that it looked okay, other than when they did the close up. When they did the close up and it was dried on her face already, I was like, well, that shit dried quickly. But
buy that.
I do
agree.
think the slicing looked good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, when she holds up her hand and it slices. Oh yeah,
that was a good slice.
That
like
looked
that's
good.
but there is a fine line between that looked good and then they just said every shot after that can just suck because we had this one good shot. You know, it still needs to be good after that.
Well, that's the first thing we see. The first, violent thing we see.
Yeah.
Besides the rape at the beginning.
I think we missed. I think we missed out though. Kyle's like, this is actually a slasher series. That I think we lost something with this. We need to get Michael Caine on the horn and have him come back at 60 and be Bobby again.
At 60?
However old he is, 95,
Yeah, I was
102.
gonna say he's
getting
up
up
there
there.
now.
How old is he?
Knock on wood. I don't know.
I don't know if he can wear heels anymore.
Oh.
We'll put him in
Maybe
some
not.
flats and get it done.
Actually, while
He was
our
born in
interns
33.
33.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's
What's the
somebody in
math on that, John?
Yeah. So while our interns are doing math because we're idiots.
He's just short of 90. He's 88.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Apparently after this movie came out, Michael Caine's agent saw it and he called him up and he said,
What the fuck are you doing?
He said,
That sounds pretty good.
You will never do another movie like this because as a girl you look like shit.
That's kind of true, though. I don't blame him for that.
Oh,
He
man.
kind of looked like Kate Blanchett. Sorry.
Right.
That's a little mean to Kate Blanchett.
That is pretty bad.
She's not attractive, though.
Right.
Well,
She's
anyway, let's figure out how much this movie cost.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to guess.
It cost Michael Caine his dignity.
Ooh, that it did. But the budget was actually $6.5 million.
Yeah.
In 1980, though, right?
It doesn't really say. I don't know.
That's
how-
like
how-
190 million now. Like, that makes sense.
Wow.
It's most likely in the 1980.
Probably.
Inflation.
1979.
But so did this actually make its money back?
That's a good question. I don't.
Yes.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yes, I agree.
John? Yeah. Yeah, a lot. 31.8, almost $31.9 million.
Okay, and you said it cost what 6.9?
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I think that 31.5 is to, like, close to now. Not including now necessarily, but I think it's close to now because that movie didn't get a lot of traction, to my knowledge anyway, until the 90s. Because in the 90s is whenever the shower scene in Dress to Kill became a running joke. Like, people would say, like, call me for the shower scene in Dress to Kill. There's a movie in particular that actually happens
Oh, really?
in the movie. Yeah.
So my other website that I usually look at for budgets and such,
Yeah.
they're saying that the production budget was around $16 million.
Okay.
So I think they may adjust that for inflation.
Probably.
But yeah, they don't really have a gross income. But yeah, so about 31 million, 32 million.
Okay. Well, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give it an 81%,
Wow.
and the audience gives it a 74%. Okay, so let's see what we're going to score this, and since this was my movie, I will go first. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie the first time I saw it. I did not see the twist coming until I kind of added up all of the little elements that De Palma was putting in there, all the little breadcrumbs, which I thought was fascinating. I didn't see that. I thought Michael Caine's great. Michael Caine's great in everything.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite actors. the whole reason I wanted to pick this movie was because a while back on one of the episodes of Screen Riot, John said he doesn't want to see Michael Caine in a villain role, in a villainous role. So I was like, oh, well, I got the movie for him. I just had to wait, had to buy my time.
I still didn't. He was Bobby.
No, and he's kind of right, because you never really see him. I mean, you see him for about 2 seconds, sort of lose his cool. Other than that, he's so like reserved and stuff the entire time. You never see him. Yeah, you never see him like get to like. He doesn't rage out at any point. You know what I mean? Right. He needs to rage out. There's a lot of pent up aggression in that in that transsexual body is.
A little bit,
but it doesn't happen.
I agree with everybody here that it feels like it has like 2 endings. You know?
Yeah.
And it definitely could have been better if they would have just stuck with either, like Eddie, you were saying, ending a little bit earlier after they get shot, or doing the breakout scene of the insane asylum, and then we just fade out during that crane shot. But I mean, overall, I enjoy the movie. I actually kind of like the museum scene, the kind of little cat and mouse thing that they have going on there. We didn't really talk about the music much.
I like the score in the museum scene. Yeah. I think the music there is kind of cool. The rest of the music,
it kind of blends in with everything.
It's typical.
It's very
around the time.
It's very thriller-esque. I mean, it has like a lot of tension build up and everything. But typical.
I think I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So Eddie,
yes,
your turn.
So the movie, I don't dislike Dress to Kill. Let me start by saying that I don't dislike it. I think that it's, for its time, it was probably pretty groundbreaking. I wasn't alive in 1980. And this is a shocker for some people, but
what?
Yeah, I was almost alive, but not.
John was.
Yeah,
for sure.
John was alive in 1880.
How's that prospecting going?
Back in my day.
It's just funny though because I'm older than he is. Yeah. But anyway. But that being said, I do respect it for the groundbreaking aspect of it. I just wish that some of the decisions De Palma makes, and this is not just in this movie, this is in a lot of his movies, I just wish he was a little more, like, I wish he edited more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just wish he would go through and just edit his movies more, you know, to be a little more clear in what it is he's trying to do. That scene in the museum is cool. I think it's a cool scene. But at the same time, if somebody watches it and they're like, oh fuck, this thing's going on forever, I don't blame them. I'm like, yeah, it's a long scene. Like, you're just gonna have to try to enjoy it. You know, it's kind of like some other things.
In 2021, yes, but I think in 80s, no. Maybe, I think we're getting so.
I think we're
instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I mean, you can only go like, hey, this is going to be driven by the music. 2001: A Space Odyssey is the same fucking way. Like, when people watch 2001 and that like Into the Dimensions scene where it's just music and lights and craziness and shit for like 10 minutes and people get bored, I'm like, I get it. Like, it's fucking long. It feels long. And I watched that when I was like 12 and it still felt really fucking long.
Yeah, but that was 68.
Yeah, but it still felt long. It can be innovative and interesting and all those things without feeling like you're pulling your teeth out.
But it's space. Everything looks like it's going slow.
That's true. I don't know. To me, the movie is Dress to Kill is good. It's lacking in some stuff. I like Michael Caine in almost everything, but he's sort of in this and not in this at the same time. Because, I mean, he's not the main character. The main character is Liz. You know, Peter, you could argue, is even kind of more the main character. You could even argue, what's her name, who gets killed in the fucking first 30 minutes, is more the main character than Michael Caine. She has more screen time than he does. Mm-hmm. He's not on the screen that much. It's kind of a weird thing. John's not wrong. He still technically hasn't seen Michael Caine as a baddie. So, I don't know. For me, I think I'm going to go... Oh, God. This is hard. I'm going to do a 3-1. I'm going to do a 3-1 for Dress to Kill. And It's a movie that I don't hate either. It sucks.
Okay.
Right,
so I came in with a higher score, but since we've been dissecting this, I'm like, fuck, there's things I don't like about it either. You know?
Gotcha. So Eddie gives a 3-1, so Kyle.
Yeah. All right, so with this movie, I definitely, the very beginning was a shocker. I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Cool. But I think Michael Caine definitely shined in this movie for what he had. He didn't have a whole lot of screen time, but when he was on screen, it brought everybody else's acting up. he was definitely the person to compete against in a lot of scenes. I think my favorite scene with him is towards the end when Liz is, undressing and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, yes, I want to have sex with you type thing. When he's pretty much at that edge, he looks down at a mirror.
Yeah.
And you basically are seeing Bobby back at him. And I noticed...
Which they do that a few times in the movie.
And then that actually maybe had like a couple of flashbacks. I'm like, wait a minute. He's been looking at his reflection like a lot throughout this movie. Mm-hmm. And when he sees this reflection, he's probably disgusted with himself, or he's seeing another person looking back at him. But I did like that scene when he was like, that's the transition scene type thing. Mm-hmm. I think overall with this, of course, the ending just sucked. Should have just left it with the insane asylum. I think I'm going to give this a 4.7.
Okay, 4.7 for Kyle. John?
I agree with Kyle that Michael Caine is phenomenal. I just think they underutilized him in this movie. I think he could have been in a lot more of it and been more of a factor. I mean, ultimately, yeah, he was Bobby and this, that, or the other, but to me, it just seemed I knew it kind of because Justin obviously picked this movie because he wanted to see
that
my reaction.
Yeah,
he wanted to see my reaction of Michael Caine, one of my favorite actors, in a baddie role. So I caught on pretty quick. So I really wasn't wowed by that aspect of it.
I should have kept it more of a secret.
Yeah, you should have. But I just think he was underutilized, and I think while I'm watching it, I got the distinct feeling that none of the actors really connected on screen. Like they didn't. To me, they just all seemed very disconnected. Like they were saying their lines and they were just saying their lines. Like it wasn't a performance piece per se. It was more of just like I'm going to get a paycheck today. But that being said, I mean, despite that it was a slow burn, I did enjoy watching the movie. I did not like the museum scene. I still thought tap shoes are out, even in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I would have enjoyed it more had it been a little faster. I would have enjoyed it more had the end stopped in the insane asylum. That was a very disturbing scene, in my opinion. Seeing Michael Caine, looking up at him in that light, that bluish haze of light, with all the other inmates looking down, cheering him on.
Yeah, exactly.
That was pretty freaky. I think my thoughts on it, I'm going to give this a 4.5.
Which means that Dress to Kill from 1980 gets a 4.8.
Okay, nice.
And I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you another movie they did this to Michael Caine, and that I can think off the top of my head is Jaws: The Revenge.
Oh no, yeah.
They had a golden opportunity to make Jaws: The Revenge good. Now, first of all, you don't name Michael Caine Hoagie. I don't understand why he was named after a sandwich, but he was. And you had Michael Caine in the freaking third, fourth Jaws movie? I don't even know what that was. The 10th Jaws movie? I mean, you had a golden opportunity there.
Yeah.
But that being said, that whole movie is shit, John.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the whole movie is bad, but I mean, at least Michael Caine was in it. He could have made it a little better.
But what you're doing right now is you're proving that Michael Caine just has shitty taste in picking scripts sometimes.
Well, hold on. He does have one of my most favorite quotes I've ever heard Michael Caine say.
In Jaws the Revenge or whatever?
Well, somebody was interviewing him about the movie.
Oh, okay.
And they asked him, have you seen the movie? And he said, no, but I've enjoyed the house it bought.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah, there you go.
I get that, and I understand. I guess, I don't know. In this way, I'm going to go more, and Keanu Reeves has made some awful choices too, but Keanu Reeves doesn't really seem to give a shit how much money he makes from a movie. He just doesn't care.
Very true.
And at the same time, I think whenever he makes a shitty decision about a movie, he at least owns it and is like, yeah, I made the choice. It wasn't the smartest choice I ever made, but I made the choice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To talk it off on just being money, they're all fucking rich. Who cares? Like, right. I think that, Michael Caine probably went, it's Jaws, and maybe it'll be a good role. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to go to the Bahamas. Just say that, though. Like, just pick and be like...
Well, you've got your actors who are... you've got your actors who will take any role just because they like acting, and I think that's Michael Caine.
Yeah.
He enjoys the actual process of acting, and if he can be in a movie, he's like, yeah, schedule does it. You want me in it? Yeah, I'll do it. And yeah, I mean, you're going to profit off of it. I mean, there's no sense in not taking a role because it's not going to be profitable.
Here's what's weird though. Like, I like Michael Caine, and yet at the same time, I'm like, but I have a whole lot of movies with Michael Caine in them that I don't think I like. Like, I like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, right, with Steve Martin. That movie's fucking hilarious. It's a remake, but it's still really funny, right? I like the movie Victory that also has Sylvester Stallone in it. A little odd, but it's a good movie.
Somebody who can't speak versus somebody who can.
Well, no, what's weird about that movie is that it's a bunch of British people in a POW war camp, and then Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, he's the American.
And he's the American, and he's just a shithead the entire movie, and they all hate him. And he's supposed to play soccer, and he sucks at soccer, and they all hate him. Everyone hates him. The Germans.
What am I supposed to do with this ball? Am I supposed to kick it?
The Germans, the English, the French, they all hate Sylvester Stallone. It's a great movie.
Well, I mean, Eddie, he's got 176 credits to his name.
Damn.
So I mean, they're not all going to be gold.
Nah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Well,
yeah.
and one more thing just to kind of close out this conversation is he just recently announced that he's retiring from acting.
Dang.
So no more Michael Caine roles.
Well, that sucks, kind of.
Yeah, it does. I'm not happy to see him go. I mean, he is 88 years old.
Yeah, you only get typecasted for one type of role, and it's somebody's grandpa.
Yeah.
But he's got Now You See Me 3 coming up.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I think that's his last one.
That's the last one that I'm seeing on his IMDb page.
Yeah.
So, with that, this is basically the last spin of the season. Well, we don't have to spin because, John, you're the last one for this week. And there's only one genre on the board, so that's yours by default. And that's romance, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is.
Okay, so do you have a romance for us?
I do. I am going to select The Holiday in honor of Christmas.
Yay.
And for those who don't know, The Holiday, it came out in 2006, rated PG-13. It's 2 hours and 16 minutes, and it stars Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, and Jack Black.
Jack Black,
Yeah, Jack Black, him.
Okay.
And it is about two women troubled with guy problems, swap homes in each other's countries where they each meet a local guy and fall in love.
It's a very interesting movie. I like it.
Okay. I have not seen
And
this.
as an added bonus, and we'll talk about this next week, it's had some controversy of late of having toxic male masculinity.
Like this movie?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Probably a little bit less than this movie, but
okay.
yeah.
But it has Kate Winslet, huh? So
Yeah.
it'll do well for our YouTube channel.
Yes, it will.
So that's nice. So with that, if you want to join along at home, meet us back here next Saturday. Well, we will be reviewing The Holiday from 2006. If you want to find out all the places that you can find it streaming, go to justwatch.com, look up The Holiday. Remember, it's from 2006. And then we'll see you back next Saturday.
Yep. See ya.
See you.
Later.
See you.